welcome back to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10 right here on the Wrestle Debate. Bit of a crazy show last week, what with Retribution and Alexa Bliss stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what all of the fallout was. So let's get straight into it. SmackDown kicked off with a recap of last week's attack by Retribution, and we learned that security had been beefed up. Big E was out first for his match with John Morrison, but the lights were malfunctioning before the match had even begun, and members of the Retribution attacked the two of them, and the announcers fled. After a beatdown, Big E and Morrison were left laying at ringside. Big E and Morrison were then backstage on SmackDown, and Corbin tried to rally the locker room into fighting against the unknown enemy. Sheamus came up and took jabs at Big E and shrugged it off and said he will get his match with Morrison later tonight. 6.5 out of 10. Bit of a crazy start. Good to see Retribution still going strong, the Mad Lads. But I don't get how they were suddenly fine 2 seconds later. That was a bit odd. Sasha and Bayley were then back on SmackDown, and Bayley said the McMahons couldn't even keep them down. This kicked off the Triple Brand Battle Royal. The Iconics were working on the Riot Squad and managed to eliminate Ruby very early on. Liv Morgan was then eliminated following the Iconics, and two teams started fighting outside. Nikki Cross was dominating the ring and took Tamina out of the match. Bianca Belair then managed to pick up Tamina and drop her outside before Naomi was taken out by Evans with the women's right. Shotzi took out Evans, and Lacey helped Shayna eliminate Blackheart from the outside. Belair was sent over the ropes by Knox, but Baszler dumped her outside with Dana Brooke's help. Brooke took a hip attack from Asuka and was eliminated by Baszler, and they were the only ones left. Baszler sent Asuka to the outside, but her feet landed on Sasha and Bayley, and then Asuka was caught in the Carol Feaster clutch and managed to reverse it and throw Shayna out. I'm going to give this a 6.75 out of 10. I enjoyed it, and it's going to be really interesting to see Asuka face both of them at SummerSlam. But the question I have was, where on earth was Rhea Ripley? I was really looking forward to seeing her in this. Asuka managed to attack Banks and Bayley backstage on SmackDown before Mandy Rose challenged Deville to a heavy hair match. Sheamus was backstage and sent some guards off, saying that Retribution would not attack them while he was in the ring. Alexa Bliss was backstage and said she wanted to get some answers from Braun. And then we got Sheamus v Shorty G. Chad Gable started off strong, but was slowed down by big chops from Sheamus. Gable tried for some ground offense, but he was whipped out by an axe handle. Shorty hit some chops before Gable went for an ankle lock, but Sheamus managed to get it out and hit the white noise. Sheamus finished it up with the brogue kick for the win. 6.25 out of 10 this. Why on earth has you just turned someone heel only to lose? And heel v heel dynamic doesn't really make sense. So yeah. AJ Styles then came down to the ring with a guy in a suit and plugged his Twitch channel before saying people have been throwing statistics at him. AJ teased a new rating system and unveiled it to show AJ was the only one on the chart. Jeff Hardy then interrupted the announcement and asked for a title match. AJ said he respected Jeff, but Hardy hasn't earned his shot. Jeff beat up AJ Styles and his associate before signing his name on the blank spot list and left. So it looks like we're getting that at SummerSlam. 6.5 out of 10. Enjoyed this, and I think it should be a great match between the two of them. Backstage, the Lucha House Party stole the tag team titles, the absolute wrong uns, and AJ was furious that he couldn't erase Jeff Hardy's signature. Then we went on to Nakamura v Matalik. Matalik and Shinsuke started off with some fast action. Matalik was in control early on before Nakamura managed to hit an inverted exploder and then sat up for the Kinshasa before Kalisto of all people returned. Woohoo! Cesaro was taken out on the ramp by the Lucha House Party, and Matalik used the opportunity to pick up the 3 count off a top rope elbow drop. 6 out of 10. What was the point in this? No one's hyped for this. Can we just move on, please? But great to see you, Kalisto. Hooray! Matt Riddle then had an interview backstage when it looked like Shorty G was making up to him before Corbin attacked him, and yeah. Alexa Bliss was backstage being interviewed about The Fiend and Braun Strowman. She said she and Strowman were close, but what Braun said last week upset her. Sonya Deville was then backstage and she accepted Mandy Rose's challenge before we moved on to Big E v John Morrison. Big E and Morrison were back into it, and Morrison was doing well early, but was sent over the ring to the outside. Big E hit a huge splash on the apron before Miz ran a distraction and handed the comeback to Morrison. Otis came out and confronted The Miz before the lights went out, and we headed for a break. We returned to see Retribution destroying the backstage area, and the entire roster was out at ringside to protect the match, but by the time they got backstage, the group had left. In the ring, Big E locked in the stretch muffler to get the win. 6.5 out of 10. The match was alright. I just didn't really like the other focus on Retribution. I think you should have given these two time just to show what they can do, and maybe had a Retribution segment in a different part of the show. And finally, Sheamus hit a bro kick on Big E, but then Braun's music hit and everyone ran off. Strowman was out and said that he would feast on the entrails of the Fiend. Bliss interrupted, and Braun said that he still doesn't care about Alexa. Bliss slapped Braun, and Strowman attacked her, picking her up and throwing her, but the lights went out and a Fiend appeared, and then everyone just had a bit of a laugh, really. Yeah, 6.75 out of 10. I kind of like the way this is going, and I like the Bliss dynamic, so this was good. Overall, this week, SmackDown is getting a 6.5 out of 10. A pretty decent show, in my opinion. There were some good segments, like the main event segment, Retribution stuff. To be fair, it's growing on me. I don't really mind it. The AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy bit was good. Oscar winning the Battle Royale, so lots of good parts on this show, but then again there were some downers, of course. But anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and remember to subscribe to my other channels on screen right now, as well as follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for some daily wrestling news. But anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.